Okay, so I just...
Which one do you want? You don't know?
Sorry guys, I'm in the middle of a store shopping. Just got out of church. But I have to make this while it's fresh in my mind. First of all, my right arm is getting paralyzed by the hour here. Back and neck are still real bad. Headaches real bad again. So these surgeries need to be done, but I've been waiting to hear back from the surgeons as to what we're doing, because I know they got the test results back from everything, and there's one more MRI scheduled on the 26th of March, which was moved up to the 19th, but now I don't know what's going on, because they called me back and said they might move it again. Something about them not wanting to do contrast at the last minute, but we need the contrast to see the brain properly for the vascular situation. Vision's getting worse, so that's none of it's positive news as far as my health. So I'm waiting on these surgeons to get back to me and let me know when we're doing these surgeries, because I need them done right away. Other than that, on another note, it was brought to my attention today very clearly that we have to, I don't know how to say this. If you're a Catholic, if you're a Christian, we got to be out of the world now. Like, God's like not gonna wait much longer. He's basically, the doors are closing to the ark, and it's, you better hurry up. Basically, like, there's too many of us that are double-minded. 1 foot in the world, 1 foot in the kingdom, still playing around. Way too attached. We're double-minded. We're not pure in thought. We're not chaste in our thoughts. We're not chaste in our bodies. We're not doing this right at all, and we're running out of time to get it right, and we're to get it right. So I had a stern warning, basically. I can't really get into it right now, but very stern warning today that, put it this way, Jesus and his mother are not too happy with me, and basically, put it this way, there was a soul in purgatory who was a famous mountain climber, and he's in purgatory because he was a Christian, but God put him there for a long time in a hole full of fire that he has to climb in and out of until he gets out of purgatory. He's stuck in a hole of fire in a mountain, in the side of a mountain, burning to death in like a fire pit, because he did nothing to glorify God. Everything he did was only for himself. In other words, the message was, if you are a Christian and you only live for yourself, it doesn't matter if you're rich and famous, if you're a singer, an author, a mountain climber, an athlete, if you're only living for self and you're not doing anything and everything to glorify God, you're not going to make it. This guy barely made it to being saved, but by fire. And so he's stuck in the fires of hell for quite a long time in purgatory, because he got saved. He's in purgatory, not hell, for forever, because he's a Christian. But he's not. His whole life was all about him, gratifying himself, climbing up Mount Everest, whatever he wanted to do. It was never done for God's glory, and it was never. He didn't live for God and for neighbor. He spent his life just enjoying his life, doing what he wanted to do. And so the warning was, listen, let other people know that I'm stuck in this hole, literally burning alive in this fire for a long time because I didn't live according to my Christian vows. So that was a very sobering warning to me. Thanks to John Bosco, St. John Bosco. He has a way of terrifying you. But yeah, so I had my butt handed to me today. And also the message was, do not complain about the crosses that you have. Hey, Tony. Basically, it's like this is what the understanding I was given today was like, the Lord's like, listen, you want to be saved, right? You asked me to make you a saint? You want to go to heaven? Then don't complain about how I do it. Because everything now, once you give me your life, everything is going to be taken over by God. And I'm going to hand you the crosses that I see fit. And I'm going to direct your steps as I see fit. Because I know what you need in order to get to heaven. Okay? And so that's why it's called the road of the cross. I mean, you signed up for this. You said you wanted to be saved. Well, This is the cost. So you need to stop complaining, about what you don't have and wasting half your life weeping over what you wish you could have or what you wish you could still do or what you want and what you don't have, and be very grateful for what you do have. You got a roof over your head, you would be lucky. You have a car, be lucky. You have what I want you to have. I took the people out of your life that were no good for this walk, so that were going to keep you from getting up there. So don't cry over them. I put the right people in your path for a reason, to help you get there. I got it under control, but you got to let go. You can't you can't tell the surgeon how to do his job. You need to let him do his job, and you be the patient. Otherwise, this ain't gonna work. So when you agree to this, you let the doctors do what he's got to do, and you don't tell him how to do it. So basically, that's the message. We all need to remember that we're wasting a lot of precious time on coulda, woulda, shouldas, or I wish I had this, or I want that car, or I want that house, or I want to be married, or I wish I was there. Don't do that, because you need to trust in God's mercy and providence that his goal is not for your pleasure down here, but to get you to heaven. And he'll do whatever it takes, as long as you allow him to do that. And so he gives some people a cement cross, other people a bamboo cross, whatever. Some people got styrofoam, some people. So don't complain about your cross, or you want to trade it in for something else, or someone else has it easier than you, or you're not happy in life, or whatever. You have to be grateful for the state that you're in, because if you want to go up, then you don't want to have your reward now. So yeah, maybe you can't go on vacation. Maybe you can't have that bungalow in the Maldives. Maybe you can't live in Greece, and maybe you can't do everything that everybody else is doing. But you will have what you need for your personal repottering. He's the potter, you're the clay. He needs to remold you. You'll have what you need to get up, if you don't keep delaying it and stopping it and getting in the way. So basically, ultimate trust in the whole plan, and just be quiet and just don't complain, and get on with what you need to be getting on with, and stop with all the worldliness. Basically, you can't do both. And so basically, I got my butt handed to me again today. He reminded me of that. But that whole soul in purgatory burning, that was kind of scary. And he reminded me that, I'm still living too much for myself and complaining and worrying about, I want this house, I want that car, I want this job, but I can't do that anymore. It's got to be, listen, if I decide that you're going to be paralyzed, then you're going to be paralyzed. Don't complain. If I decide to heal you, then fine. If I decide, you got to step back now and literally not just be a hearer and a knower of the word, but when I said you need to die so I can live, I meant it. When I said it's no longer you who live, but I who live in you, I meant it. You're not getting it. you're not letting go. It's like, it's like a little kid who has a broken toy and they want their parent to fix it, but the parent can't fix it if the kid doesn't let it go. Give it to him. Your father's like, okay, give it to me so I can fix it. No. Well, then I can't fix it until you let go and let me do what I got to do. And God's telling us now, he's like, listen, once you become a Christian, you need to count the cost and you need to stop. I need you. Basically, this is it. This is what I'm hearing right now. You're going on too long already, Steve, so just learn how to say fewer words. You're running out of time. All of you are running out of time. You're going to miss the boat. Okay, basically, I need you to really focus on getting out of the world, being in it, but no longer of it. You need to pick a side. You're either going to heaven or you're going to hell. You're either going to be all about the world and enjoying this life, or you're going to be a Christian. You can't do both. You can't. So, you either have your reward now, or you have it in heaven. But if you have it now, you're not going to heaven, which means you're going to burn in fire. That's the warning, and he's kind of saying, listen, I'm coming soon. We're wrapping things up. Who's on board? Like, there's the 10 foolish virgins. There's 5 foolish virgins, 5 wise virgins. Most of you are foolish. You don't have any oil in your lamp, and you're not learning from the parable warning about that. And so, doors are closing. You better get your oil in your lamp. You better be ready. And so too many of you are, just basically living too worldly. Like my thoughts. Did you know that you're going to be accountable for all your thoughts? and your deeds, man, like it's really not, it's not pleasant to think about. But people, you're going to be responsible for every word out of your mouth, every thought, and thoughts create actions. Okay, so you got to watch what you're watching, what you're listening to. You need to be holy. Like, that's what it was like final warning. Like, you need to do this. I need you all in. And that means if you have to throw out all your DVDs, all your CDs, all your magazines, then that's what you have to do. If that means you lose all your friends and family, then that's what you have to do. If that means that you're called to be a priest then that's what you're going to do. Like, you have to do whatever is necessary to save your soul. And most Christians are way off base. They're just, the only thing that's different about them and the rest of the world is that they have a Christian label on themselves, but they're not actually living a holy, saintly life. God's not kidding. He says, listen, I want you to be holy, perfect, and a saint. So unless you're living like Mother Teresa or St. Padre Pio, you're not doing this right. That drastic, yeah. That's why I wear these things, okay, even in my work uniform, okay? That's why I pray, that's why I make these videos, that's why I got scapulars on, and none of that is going to matter if I'm not actually authentic in mind, heart, and life. Your actions have to, the way you live and your actions have to back up your knowledge of Christianity and your faith. You can't just believe, you got to live it out. So, folks, stop worrying about your future. Stop worrying about getting better cars and nicer homes or, all these worldly things. None of that's going to matter if you don't have what's most important, which is Jesus, and truly know Him. And that if you're not on your way up, we should all be so very obvious from the rest of the world. Like, it should be obvious when you walk into a store that you are a Christian, and not just a Christian by title, but that you are a on your way up Christian. You have everything about us has to be so different. Jesus is saying, listen, I'm not going to take lukewarm, 1 foot in the world, 1 foot in the church. I'm not going to take wishy-washy, double-minded. You're either all in to the death, or you're not making it. You're too worldly. So stop being materialistic, stop being vain, stop envying other things, stop living for worldly things and pleasures and vacations and all that stuff. Stop all the gambling, stop all the drinking, stop just whatever it takes, people. That was my warning I got from the Lord today. He wasn't messing around. He was upset with me. I can't get into everything right now because I'm in Stop and Shop. But before I forget, I wanted to make this video. And look, I was terrified today. And I ran to that confessional. And, basically, when God, whatever your life is, that's what it is. Like, you have to be happy with what you got. Be grateful for what you do have. Don't try to have more or live outside of your means. Don't envy the rich. Don't be all worldly minded. Be heavenly minded. You should be spending a lot more time reading the Bible and praying and thanking God and worshiping Him. You should be so busy doing all those things, and then after taking care of Him, taking care of others in need, the elderly, the poor, the homeless, the widows, the orphans, praying for people, feeding them, whatever. You should be so busy being a Christian in this world that you don't have time to be going to nightclubs, gambling dens, strip clubs, the movies all the time, Disney World all the time. You just don't have time. Drinking, partying, all that. You just can't anymore. You're too busy. If you're not, okay, like for example, I knew that sloth was a problem. I like to sleep in later because I had to go to bed at ungodly hours because I work third shift, But I also knew, and I was proven this today, that if you don't get out of bed early, you try to keep hitting this alarm and sleep another half hour, another 15 minutes, your whole day is off. And a bunch of bad stuff's going to end up happening. Impurity in your thoughts and in your deeds, All kinds of stuff happens from sloth, from not fasting, from not praying, from oversleeping, from overeating. If you do not control the flesh and mortify it and make it suffer, it will take over, and the devil will basically, you won't be able to be strong enough to avoid the temptations and the sins. So if you want it, you have to be chaste, you have to be holy, you have to be pure. And the only way you can do that is by mortifying, not oversleeping, not overeating, not over drinking. Control. Like military boot camp. You must control the flesh, otherwise the mind will start controlling everything, and the devil, and you will lose. So, don't forget, it only takes one sin to send you to hell. And most of us commit many a day. So, what's the point of this? The point is, I was reminded today, like, listen, are you coming or going? Are you coming or staying, Steve? Because if you're going to do this, I need you to really start being a better example now. Like, you need to be a better example. Like, you need to be authentic all the time now. No more joking around. No more being a bad example. Because I need you either on board or you're out. So, if that's what he's saying to me, same for all of you. Okay? So, maybe you're not a preacher, maybe you're whatever, but it doesn't matter. You still are responsible to obey. So, otherwise, don't bother being a Christian. Don't go to church. Because if you're not going to do it the way he wants you to do it, you're wasting your time. So that's what he calls lukewarm and apostate. Alright? And most of us are. We're not ready. If you were to come back today, we're not ready. And for those of you who think, oh, I'm good. Well, if you're not living every day, offering up everything you do, from if you bake someone a cake, do it for God's glory. Do it for love of God. Do it for love of neighbor. If you're not climbing if you're climbing Mount Everest, make sure you do it to glorify God. If you do it just for yourself, it's not going to count, and you're gonna most likely end up in hell or purgatory if you're lucky. Purgatory is fire. It's just not permanent, but it could be millions of years. So, like that soul that St. John Bosco was talking about today, a very famous mountain climber. He's in purgatory for a long time, and he's trapped in a narrow pit, like inside of a mountain that's on fire, and he's literally in like a tube of fire trying to climb out, but to no avail. Just burning in a pit of fire. That's his hell. That's his purgatory for a long time, because his whole life, all he cared about was mountain climbing and being the best mountain climber, and climbing every mountain he can do, and just enjoying his life. But God didn't create you and I to live for ourselves. We were created to serve Him, and to make Him known and loved, and to serve neighbor. And so most people are just living their whole life to drink as much as they can, party as much as they can, go on vacation, go to Disney World as much as they can, be the best athlete, be the best whatever, enjoy your life, make money. You know, you only live once, but they're only living for themselves. And that's what you're going to be judged on. Because if you're doing that, you did not obey the first and second commandment, which is the most important. You will love the Lord your God with all your heart and mind and spirit and strength and might, and then you will love your neighbor as you love yourself. You come last. God first, neighbor second, you last. That's the life of a real Christian. Not this whole me, I, what I want, YOLO, all about me, I'll be me, be you, do you, it's all about you, just be happy. No. You're missing it then. That's how the world thinks. That's how the devil thinks. That's not meekness. That's not Christianity. It's not a selfless life. That's a selfish, self-centered life. That's not a Christ-centered life. People, you can't have it both ways. And even most of the people in the church, it was showed to me today, including myself, are not getting it right. We're still doing everything for ourselves, and not for God first, and not for neighbor second. So if you're not coming last, if at all, you're doing something wrong. If you're just enjoying your life every day, and every day is like all about how much fun you can have, and how much money you can make, and how many mountains you can climb, and how much you can enjoy your life, well, then you're doing it wrong. You need to totally surrender. Thank you, Joanne. Total surrender, which is what I had to do again, was basically bawl my eyes out at the altar, get on the knees, kiss the floor, and say, Lord, I surrender my mind, my heart, my everything all over again. I renew my baptismal vows. I renounce all this stuff. I messed up. I upset you and your mother. I have to totally give you over my mind, my heart, my thoughts, my desires, everything, and let you decide what you want me to have. In other words, there's a truck I want, but if God don't want me to have it, I ain't going to have it, so there's no point in thinking about it anymore. He already knows what I want. He knows what house I want. He knows, what vocation he's got planned for me, so it doesn't matter if I have a wife picked out or not. It doesn't matter. If he don't want me getting married, I'm not getting married. That's what it means. Total surrender, where you no longer care if you don't get what you want anymore. Like, that's what I've been going through lately. I'm like, Lord, I don't care anymore. Like, maybe it's depression, maybe I've just given up, but I don't find anything enjoyable down here anymore. It's all more of just a nuisance. And so you figure it out. Like, you tell me what you want me to do, because I don't want to do anything that's out of your will anymore. And if you're not happy, then I'm not going to be happy. Or even if I'm happy and you're not happy, then I'm going to hell. So I don't want to go to hell. I'm like, so Lord, what do I need to do? Like, I kept asking him, I'm like, please, I'm going to make another video if I can remember, because I asked him in church also before I left. I said, Lord, you got to make it very, very clear to me, because I'm dumb as tacks. Can you please just make it very, very clear what I need to know today? And then I took Donna to a restaurant before we came here to go shopping. And she's like, oh, by the way, and she hands me this book she's reading, and everything on that page was what I already had downloaded in my mind and heart today, before church. And then it was everything that the priest had said, and then it was in this book. This whole page was all about boom, 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 here it is then. I'm going to read it to you guys. I'm going to make a second video when I get home and read this part, because it's so important that I share it. Because I'm like, Lord, how do we do this then? What do you want? Like, how do I do this? How do I get back to where I used to be with you? Like, I used to be literally like living like a saint. I used to pray all the time. I had zeal. I prayed all day long. Everything was about you. Ever since seminary happened, it's like I've fallen off the path. Like, I just can't get back to where I was with you. And so I'm like, I really need help here. I need you to, like, make it really clear. Like, and then Donna hands me this book while we're waiting for our food. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's it. Boom, 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 boom. Like, it was so clear, laid out. Like, okay, here's the process then. This is the process. And so I've tried to make this video quickly to basically kind of put into words what I learned today and what that book said, because the book really worded it perfectly. So when I get to make a second video on this, when I get home, I'm going to read that passage to you guys from the book, and it'll sum all this up. But the bottom line is, folks, we're running out of time. If you want to go up, everything else gets pushed to the side. Like, everything else. It's not important anymore. Your happiness, your comfort, your luxury, not important. Your future, not important. What your cars, your house, your clothes, your vanity, your happiness, nothing's important. All you need to be focusing on is total surrender. Is God happy with you? Are you doing this right? Are you on your way up? Are you so set apart from the rest of the people in this world that if you came right now, or if you drop dead right now, you're going up? Because if not, you're going down. And most people are going down. And very few make it to purgatory. Out of 68,000 people who probably died the last few hours, 3 probably made it, were saved. 2 to purgatory, 1 went up. Okay? That's how few. And purgatory is not just some cloudy space. It's a place of fire and brimstone. It's just as bad. So you don't want to be there. And most of us will end up there. And even if you do, you'll be happy, because at least it's not forever. But 1,000,000 years on fire is still pretty bad. But it's still better than hopelessness. Like trillions of years, forever. So people, we gotta take this seriously. The Lord was telling me, he's like, Stephen, you tell me you love me, but you're not taking this as serious anymore. You're really not. Because you're on the phone all the time. The first thing you do is check your Facebook before you even thank me in the morning for giving you another day of life. You don't say good morning, Lord, anymore until after. You don't say, everything's just, it's not about me anymore. I'm supposed to be front and center, and all it is about you and your phone, which is becoming an idol. And, your happiness and your grumbling and complaining and you asking me what you want and what you complaining about what you don't have and your suffering, even your suffering, Stephen, all that pain that you're going through, the paralysis, the pain, the surgeries, all part of your cross that has been created by me for you to bear, because I know what you need in order to be transformed into my image and likeness so you can go up. So stop complaining, because I'm trying to do surgery on you. I'm trying to do what I need to do so that you can make it. Otherwise, you're going down. So stop complaining about the process. I don't want to hear how much it hurts. I don't want to hear about how bad your cross is. You want this, you want that, you're miserable, but this is the way. This is your particular walk. It's different for each person. This is what you must go through in order to get to heaven. So, enough. Just deal with it already and shut your mouth and, let the process be done. He's the potter, I'm the clay. He has to re-break me, remold me into something else. Otherwise, I'm not going to make it. And every time we grumble and complain, we delay the process. We put a wrench in the process. We jump off the potter's wheel. We're only making it harder for ourselves, and if we're not finished in time, we're not going to make it. So we need to get to the point where you're like, Lord, even if it kills me, even if I get my head chopped off, even if I get persecuted and martyred, no matter what it takes, even if I'm crippled, whatever it takes, I want to go to heaven. Like, that's all that matters, that I make it to heaven. And that's it. And then you totally just surrender and trust him. It's scary, because you don't know what he's going to do. He might require your life. He might take your family from you. He might do a lot of terrible things to you. But it's all for your own good. It's all necessary for you to experience the sufferings that he went through in order for you to become like Christ so you can go to heaven. Because if the Heavenly Father does not see his Son in us on Judgment Day, then we're not getting in. And we're running out of time. So, maybe we should stop asking for a happy life and just be happy with what we do have. And don't expect it to be better. If it is, great. If not, it could be a lot worse. So, I think I made it pretty clear. Again, the worldly people listening to me are like, but the saints are like, yay, he got it. Because that's how it is. Now, do you see why we're so different than most people? We have to be. Our mentality should be totally the opposite of worldly people. Are all about comfort, luxury, status, enjoying life, whatever. Saints are not like that at all. We're the total opposite. We're like more suffering. We're like poverty. We're like the opposite of what this world teaches you. You can't do both. So, you will be hated for this. They hated Jesus for it. People hate Jesus because of what he expects of them. So be it. So, anyway, I will try to make part 2 to this video when I get home and read that part of that book if I can find it. It'll really wrap all this up for you and put it in better words than I could. God bless.